Alright guys, hello and welcome back. It's the quarterfinal matchup in this one. The Night's Watch going to be facing off against the Broncos. Picks and bans already underway right now. It's going to be Poseidon ban as well as Sylvanas ban. I'm Poseidon, here with Hindu.
The Broncos versus the Night's Watch. These guys are 4th and 5th seeds, I think. Yes, yep. Night's Watch 4th seeds, 5th seed Broncos up in this one. The band's coming through thick and fast. Poseidon, Circuit for the Broncos, and Night's Watch have taken out Sylvanas and also Tor.
Indeed. That's going to leave first pick over to the Night's Watch. There's some viable options still on the table for these guys. As we've seen many times today, it is in fact going to be the Athena hover and lock in for those guys. She's kind of risen to the top. Poor Geb left on the wayside. He has a very large rock. He doesn't move too quick. He's just like, oh, come on, Geb, come on, keep up, no, all right, we're just going to leave you back there. You'll catch up when you're able to. With Sylvanas ban, we may see him picked up for the Broncos as support, but I don't expect to see that coming out right now. Perhaps a Poseidon, perhaps an 80 carry pick on her is still available. Bastet wasn't banned out or picked either. There's some options on the table for the Broncos right now. Actually, teams are backwards.
The teams
are fixed.
Are they teams? No, they're not backwards. Oh, okay. Zyda, please do something right in production.
Not my fault. Not my
Goodness sakes! Like, it's all your one job. Your one job. Your one job, as well as casting, as well as streaming, as well as doing all the overlays and stuff, and all I get to do is sit here and banter with chat. That's the main thing. Athena locks in for the Broncos across the way. Night's Watch have taken Hun, Batz, and Agni. Hun, Batz seems to have seen the rise to power as most of our junglers have been focused out so much. People are like, hey, this Hun Batz character's kind of good. Why do we stop playing him again? Oh, we took some crit off him. Hey, wait a minute, he's still good. So Hun Batz is back.
Yeah. It's always amusing when that happens. It was when Osiris had his attack speed nerfed a little bit. It was like a month where nobody played him, and suddenly Osiris was everywhere again. It's the circle of life and Smite, and it happens time and time again. And speaking of time and time again, Xbalanque got locked in by the Broncos as their AD carry, and immediately Cupid was locked back in on the other side as that kind of quote-unquote counter-pick to Xbalanque.
Molex loves his Cupid as well. He likes the little baby cherub thing. He can't like die to fire giants with it because he can use Flutter to get away in case he gets himself caught in a very bad position for the most part. That's why Molex has gone for that one. He's gone for the safe pick. He doesn't want to feed like usual. That's his main aim there. Nice switch though. Up to them for their next pick as the counterbands came through. We saw Ymir banned away from the support role, and that generally means only Geb's left open. Bacchus is on the table as well. Bacchus is very strong right now, and people are starting to realize how good he really is.
I think I always go for the kind of, I'd like to see some Ares play. We haven't seen him since last week so far this weekend. He's always quite good. Against his team comp right now, the cripple could be pretty useful against Xbalanque as well as Bastet. Cool. You can't get out of those guys. They're looking at Bacchus right now. Belch of the Gods doesn't have that knock-up immunity on it. It doesn't have the knock-up immunity. I forget which way it went. He now has the knockback immunity on Belch of the Gods.
I do like your call for Ares, though. Actually, after the Ares call would have been very good against his composition. On top of it being good against the composition, it also forces them to use beads early, which means Fear No Evil and Agni bombs can rain death upon them. But the problem is they pick Chang'e before they know what they're up against. This could be a hub war matchup. I'm so good at this game. I should probably play this game one day, you know, because like I can see these picks coming in thicker than fast. If you pick Chang'e before you know what you're against, it's always about counter picks in the solo lane. And sometimes if you don't go with the right pick, you're gonna have a bad time. They're really going to go with Hell against Chang'e? I'm not sure about that one.
If Hell gets going, she's a bit of a monster. She has to worry about the anti-healing coming from Chang'e's Moonflower Dance, but Hell can be pretty disgusting once she gets going. A huge burst of healing coming out. It's not like Chang'e, Moonflower Dance, it's like barely a heal. It does damage, it does healing, it does anti-healing, does all the things, but doesn't do any of those things particularly well. Hell, on the other hand, has a big burst of heal. It's like, hey guys, here's 400 health. Enjoy. And it does the same thing a couple seconds later, and she has her passive, that mana aura. There's a lot of stuff she does bring to a team, but like you said, she's a little, she is a little squishy, she's a little immobile, she just has to be careful. Especially up against that Bastet, she can cleanse that slow for a second or two, but the cat's going to latch straight back on.
No, right, okay, that's one thing that a lot of people always seem to mistake, is they think Bastet is very, very good against a Hell, and it's not true, because Hell can heal off those cats for the majority and AoE them down very, very easily as well. Plus the slow immunity that she can grant herself, like you said, with the cleanse. Hell's very, very good against Bastet, and I think that's probably one of the reasons they picked this here for the sustain, but at the same time, she's going to be okay against any gank potential that comes out from the Bastet, so she's not going to have to worry so much against that one. Chang'e in lane is a different story. It's going to be about the early game and how this is going to fare. I don't see any invade potentials coming out. Actually, you could possibly see NQ and invade with that Hun Batz Hell combo. The level 1 is stronger than a Bastet Chang'e, that's for sure. But it's not necessarily going to definitely happen in this one. Cupid, Bacchus versus Xbalanque and Athena. Cupid, Bacchus should have the kill potential, and Xbalanque, Athena have the push potential in that lane overall. And in mid lane, it's going to be Agni versus Janus. Agni dominates this matchup early on, and can really put the pressure onto a Janus. The rotations are good from Janus, but Agni's no slouch himself because of his wave clear being so good. This composition right now, I like the boys of the Night's Watch for this one, but the Broncos, they're no slouches. They're very, very good. They're in 5th place for a reason. They've been consistent over the last few weeks. Can they be consistent again?
Well, we'll be finding out here in just a little bit, guys. The anti-ghost timer is currently still ticking down. We're going to cut to a quick little break. We'll be back here in just a couple minutes with the quarterfinal matchup between the Broncos and the Night's Watch. All right, guys, hello and welcome back. We are into the game. It's the quarterfinals of the EU Challenger Cup week number 4. I'm Zidane, here with the Hindu Man, and we are watching the Broncos facing off against the Night's Watch.
Going to be an interesting game to see how this one plays out. 4th and 5th seeds going at it. Already an early ward was placed down by the Night's Watch by Bacchus, played by Wolf of Elo Street. He's going to go back to base and get himself some nice potions online as well. Actually, he placed 2 wards. Defensive one as well in case of an invade. It'll be interesting to see what the option's going to be here coming out from the Night's Watch. I wonder if they will invade. That's my question. Like, because they've got Hell and the Batz. I feel they're stronger at the level 1 fight than a Chang'e and a Bastet would be. But it's kill potential that's the other thing as well. I guess they're just going to play it safe. And everyone's just going to start in their own jungle for the most part.
Yeah, no early invads coming out of now. There's always that slim possibility they pick up the speed buff, head across the map. But we really haven't been seeing much invades. We've seen even less of those. We're going to get a buff and then head across afterwards and steal the mana buff away. So more likely than not, it's going to be straightforward, just meta start. Everyone on their own side of the jungle. Some slightly different starts coming out. Chang'e going to be looking for that Divine Rune Rush, while it looks like Hell might be going for an early Warlock Sash. Just look to get tanky and just look to stay around in lane as long as she possibly can.
Yeah, tankiness, it looks like the order of the day coming out from that. So it looks like you said, a Warlock Sash Rush will be going. We'll see if he goes for the boots, though, because mobility is going to be important for this matchup, I feel, for the most part between the two. Has to keep an eye out for Bastet as well, so maybe looking for Sprint at some point as well, just in case. Has to get away, will evolve into Heavenly Agility. Like I said, mid lane Agni versus Janus. Agni should definitely have the push power on there, although the early wave clear always are a bit of a struggle. Although Janus did a very good job of getting there very, very early on, which is quite surprising. Normally, red side has a little bit of an advantage coming out the jungle to mid lane.
Yeah, taking a peek over at what's going on in the solo lane right now. Looks like the Night's Watch, early on they do have that bit of a better wave clear. Chang'e, Crescent Moon Dance, it works, but she has to kind of put herself in a bit of a risky spot when the jungler is still present. The Razor Whip will get applied to NQ. They're not going to have this here for wave clear, and early on it's not going to be too bad. There's that wave clear coming down from Hell. It's quite good, but it took a lot of poke in the process.
Yeah, the push power from a Hell Bastet, sorry, a Hell Batz versus a Bastet Chang'e in the early stages. They will be pushing to the tower a little bit. It's up to Lennox to really use those auto attacks to his advantage. Left hand side though, as expected, Xbalanque and Athena going to be pushing Cupid and Bacchus back a little bit for now. First rotation of the game coming out from Zindan to the mid lane here, looking for the aggression on to this Janus. He's saving the portal for the most part. Took a little bit of poke damage, but so did Carino, so it's a bit of a trade. But Bastet's here. That's
the portal. Razor Whip going to follow up. Janus finds the first blood in this fight. They're looking for second on Zinder as well. The damage coming out. Cooldown's going to be off here in just a moment, but the Somersault came back up just a moment sooner, able to propel him back behind this tower where they can't really look to reach him and secure that kill. Nevertheless, first blood going over to the Broncos.
Baluka played that really well, in all fairness to him, in that mid lane as a Janus. He took pressure, he wasn't overly worried about it, and he just backed away to his tower, waited for his teammates to turn up. Carino took way too much poke from those Archer minions and then just made a big mistake in things. Checking in with the solo lane once again, you can see NQ and Lennox both at about the same amount of mana right now, but the wave definitely pushing into the tower for the early stages in favour of the Hell. 1-0 to the Broncos though, thanks to that first blood being picked up onto Carino.
It'll be curious to see if Chang'e is going to have her wave clear online a little bit later than Hell. We saw Hell already pushing that entire wave to the tower. It's about 100 or so gold worth of denial from NQ so far. Going forward, it's not going to be anything insurmountable necessarily, but it'll be curious to see how exactly they play this out once those first items and level 5 comes online. NQ, obviously, he has that switch stances to go between light and dark. He doesn't get that big timing push like a lot of other gods when that ultimate first comes online. Lennox, in about another couple minions, will have that Waxing Moon online, so if NQ's even slight out of position, Lennox could look for a kill potentially if he can whittle NQ down a little bit more.
Mid-camps are respawning. Athena's already in position. Wolf of Elo Street not going to be rotating for these, and this means that the Broncos are going to extend their early lead. After that first blood, we're picking up both those mid-harpies. 1,000 experience now in the lead. Gold lead of about 700.
Yep, Wolf Veal not even rotating out of this duel lane around a little bit further behind. With those Harpies, Mugiwawa does have the Defender of Olympus online. If anything goes awry anywhere else on the map, she can immediately assist those guys. Janus heading back to base for the first time so far this game, had enough golden hit for that Doom Orb. If he can get those stacks online, his full burst combo can be a lot of damage, but at the same time, he starts getting shut down. That Doom Orb could sometimes end up backfiring on you in the long run.
It can backfire on you, but it's so cost efficient nowadays. It's a great early game item, gives you mana regen as well as the fact that with a Janus, you're going to have the ability to escape from a lot of terrible situations you can find yourself in. So he's a lot harder to kill than most. So going Doom Orb isn't really that risky on him. It'd be interesting to see where he takes the rest of his build as well. Will he go for the Chronos Pendant cooldown boots again, or will he look for going for some more burst damage? Maybe some Sydney shot after boots. We'll find out. Aggression in mid lane once again coming out. Carino dropping a bomb for the time being. Nothing too exciting going on here. Left hand side though, Mox being zoned out a little bit by the Athena, but not going to be zoned for long. Not going to lose any creeps to that at all. And it's all kind of kosher for the moment for the boys of the Night's Watch. They gave up the first blood and they've played it very passive since, allowing themselves just to catch up on farm again.
Yeah, jungle buff's going to be respawning here. Some of them are already back up, so it doesn't look like anyone's looking to contest these at this particular moment. We'll see if they look for anything other than solo lane after the speed buffs are picked up. There's some opportunities to steal some stuff away, but I think this early on, like I said, everything's kind of even right now. No real aggression coming out so far from either team. I think they're just kind of feeling each other out, just looking for a big opportunity for a big invade. Not going to go for the risky play. You know, why invade the jungle right now when things are even? Well, we can just wait a little bit, look for the big plays later on, wait for the pick opportunity, and then look to make that a bigger objective rather than just fighting over a jungle buff, which it's a small victory, but it's also pretty risky when there's only one kill on the board so far.
Well, Broncos found themselves, like I said, with a small lead, but it's kind of evened up a little bit for the moment. There's still a small lead for Broncos, though, once the jungle buffs do go down, as you'll see as time goes on. But the farming is just being worked on by both teams. It's slowed down quite a lot this game for the time being. Bastet did rotate to right, looking for a bit of aggression onto NQ. Not going to find it, though, just going to pick up some farm while he's over here as well. Itemization build, though, for the Chang'e at the moment. Looks like she's working towards that Book of Toth at the moment. Has also picked up mobility boots as well to go with it. Hopefully she'll start investing into one of those items and stops playing League of Legends.
Yeah, the whole I'm going to buy tons and tons of tier 1 items doesn't really work too well here. It's unfortunate in some situations, but you generally want one of those items online. I think the lack of the Divine Rune Rush is down to like, well, I'm not even getting close to killing. Wax Moon actually just forced Lennox very low on health, trying to run away in that soul lane. Buying himself a little time. NQ could potentially look for the dive. Gonna look for the debuff, but unfortunately the follow-up was not able to be there. It would have been a risky dive with Chang'e. Moonlit Waltz off cooldown a second, plus the Moonflower Dance possibly keeping her alive.
Harpies up any second now. They're going to begin flashing on your screen. You can already see Night's Watch with groups as 3 at the moment. Athena's stood around here for the Broncos. Going to meet Bacchus in the jungle now. 3 versus 1 on this side. Athena's a bit caught out of position here. Don't think this is the best idea from her. Can she live? Great pull usage though from Janus to disengage that one. And Broncos managed to secure that camp on both sides once again, I believe.
I believe so. I think that was Athena. The graph, there was a tiny little dip, but I believe that big overall spike was them getting the Harpies on both sides. So good play by Beluga, getting that portal on the wall for Athena to actually escape from that. Did they spend an ultimate? They did not. So all ultimates still currently sitting on the table with the exception of Lennox, who did have to use it to escape from NQ. I also want to touch on the wards on the right-hand side of the map. There's some blue wards placed down now by the Broncos, but NQ has been keeping that jungle fully warded up. He wants to make sure nobody can sneak their way on in and catch him out when he's pushed that far away from his tower.
Yeah.
So we said,
well, he's literally... He's just gone back again, like you were saying, but full walk slash is now online, sprint 1 which he had before, and he bought another 2 wards. He's going to consistently try and ward this one up over and over again, make sure Bastet doesn't count, but Bastet's warding a lot on this right hand side. It's like a Christmas tree for the blue team right now. The Broncos really don't want any rotations over to this right hand side of the map whatsoever. They're abusing the small amount of gold that they got to their advantage now and trying to get full map vision. Keep an eye on where Zindan's tracking through.
Yeah, I mean, right now, just kind of hanging the mid lane, reveal on the right-hand side, rather, looking for some poke onto NQ, but like we said, the wards are down, they have vision of these things coming out. Broncos are probably looking for a pick opportunity. They're trying to catch someone rotating through the jungle and eventually collapse in them and find a kill. Right now, like I touched on a little while ago, it's a bit of a standoff right now, not much going on. They're both just trying to find that first opportunity, just kind of, get things rolling. It's a bit of a stalemate right now, nothing really coming out. They're just looking for that first sign of something to really do, something to capitalize on without having to put themselves too much at risk at the same time.
Well, 8 minutes in, Tog comes out in the mid lane onto Athena, not going to find the unstable vortex of the Zindu, who somersaults away. The disengage happens again. Cupid versus Xbalanque have been very, very passive for the most part. I guess Athena's been babysitting quite a lot over this side, honestly, so Morix hasn't really had the opportunity to try and go aggressive in this Xbalanque. They're just looking to farm up right inside, though. Big gank of potential coming out for NQ.
He did. Waxing was just spent. He's trying to find the kill on Lennox. He's just getting dropped through the portal. Not gonna be enough. One more attack from Reveal as he drops back down and lands.
Well, look
That's
what
gonna
happens.
be a kill.
Left-hand side, the Gold Fury's already been started by the boys of the Night's Watch. They're going to try and turn this one around. Xbalanque is coming in with the ultimate, though. Here comes Athena too. Is the tongue going to be good? Flop! Gold Fury goes to the Broncos. Not found by Bacchus, but Morix does make sure Mugiwawa pays with his life. Can they find more from this, though?
Reveal finds the kill onto Zinder and looking to find one more. Crinio going to be able to get back to the tower. Will be enough. Jermaine finds Wolf of Velo Street, still hanging around that Gold Fury pit. That basically came down to the fact that nobody at that Gold Fury pit inside the Night Watch had Hand of the God available. They had Wrath of the Gods, but it was on cooldown already. I don't even know whether it was on cooldown from, but he didn't have it. It was still 15 seconds out. All it took was just Mugiwawa stroll on in, boom, 480 damage to the Gold Fury, secure that objective, get 1,500 gold for the team. And Lennox, meanwhile, just took the tier 1 tower on the other side, so extending it up to 2,000 total plus kills for the Broncos.
Yeah, it's a good position, honestly, for the Broncos to be in. The funny thing is Broncos are very well-known players in the solo scene. They're very, very competitive team, very, very competitive players, very good players. People recognize them in the high elos, and that's why you get some respect out of the Night's Watch here in this round game. But you've never really seen them accelerate themselves into the pro scene or into the tournament scene as much. Jermaine, Mugiwawa, names that you've heard before as well, Baluka, Lennox too. They've all been around before, and they're doing a good job for themselves right now, although right inside, bit of pressure once again onto Lennox against this Hell being pushed into the tower again. Tier 1 tower did go down on the right already, so even if he does base and lose it, the trade-off is equal.
Yeah, Lennox will be able to get completely back to base. I mean, what are the Broncos? Do you think they're going to go back to kind of a little of a stalemate, wait for the Gold Fury? I mean, it's been a pretty slow paced game so far. Look for actually slow pace.
Right side. They're going to look for the dunk, not going to find it because the pounce is the bad time. There's the Janus rotation too. They're going to clean him up. Zindan's over here, but there's not a lot he can do on that one. The Broncos are abusing their mobility with the Janus, the Bastet, and the Athena to keep trying to pick off NQ in the solo lane. And the last time Night's Watch tried to make something happen on the left-hand side, it backfired. Athena using her presence very, very well in this game so far. Mugiwawa's having a very good game.
Oh no, I at least know now. If the game's kind of slow, we want to see some action. All I have to do is say the game is kind of slow paced, and they will immediately look for some sort of action like we saw there on the right lane. NQ, very far forward. It is. I mean, NQ was very far forward. They rotated over, went for the gank, and it was successful that time around. Going forward again, I'll be curious to see if these guys look to kind of back off. The Broncos have a small lead right now, sitting on about 3,500 gold. It's nothing to write home about right now. But, you know, contrary to what we saw before, we saw that Gold Fury, and immediately after that, another play come out of the Broncos. So they might have, you know, kind of felt out the game just enough that they're actually looking to start making some plays going forward.
I mean, looking towards the mid-game, because that's where we'll start hitting sooner rather than later. In the mid-game stages, what you'll normally see is that the team fight potential is definitely in the Night's Watch's favour. But what the Broncos are going to rely on here is their mobility. Very, very mobile gods, all of them, that they have available to them. So they're going to have to use their mobility to make sure they don't get clumped together, end up getting hit by a full wombo of Agni and the Bacchus, as well as Humbat's Fin or even Fields of Love. So, bit of a pick-off. Zinda's looking for the right-hand side, though. Going to try and gank this Chang'e. Lennox, little bit overextended here, no wall coverage this time around thanks to the sentry wall placed by NQ. Here's the damage, the trade-off is good, and he's going to go down.
Yep, Fear No Evil, Moonlit Waltz is a great ability to avoid damage, and avoidability is coming in. Unfortunately, when you're running at a wall, flailing your arms around, and you're not able to use beads in time before you get killed, the Moonlit Waltz doesn't help you all that much. Beads was available, but at that point it would have just been a waste to use. It would have been on a 3-minute cooldown for nothing. Lennox just simply got caught out too far away from the tower to escape that gank coming out from the
That's sentry wards. That was sentry wards more than anything. Night's Watch starting to abuse them now. Put them down. NQ sentry ward on that right hand side is just allowed to relieve some pressure on that side. They take the tier 1 tower left, in the right hand lane, like you said. Just drop the golden experience a little bit. Neither team's right out of it now, but mid Harpy's spawning, and we might see a grouping for them again.
Night's Watch looking for the right side camp. Bastet's looming nearby a little bit, waiting for an opportunity to go on in. Catcall is still available, could look to put some hurt down. She can pounce in, Hand of the Gods, but unfortunately she's not going to be able to do so. Zinder dropping that Hand of the Gods. Just secure that camp quite quickly. Left side though, the Broncos, nobody there to steal those away. They're going to pick these up 1-for-1 trade on these mid Harpies overall. That Little bit
interesting build from the Bastet. I'm actually really interested
Yeah.
by Revel here. Going for that Hydra Star as his main first item. Only going to leave it at rank 2. It's very cost efficient though, just to be clear. It gives you good cooldown reduction, good physical power, and the passive isn't all that bad on a Bastet either. And leaving it at rank 2 is very, very cheap to purchase, and then leaving it going for the Jotun's Wrath makes some sense. I'm surprised we've got it so early, but that fast 10% cooldown rush, not such a bad thing, just something we're not used to seeing.
Yeah, Reveal's doing pretty well, sitting 302 right now. More typically, we see Bastet go for that Jotun's Wrath first and then rush towards the Transcendence to get that mana that she so badly needs. Like so many other gods, mana is Bastet's biggest issue. And right now, a little bit of back and forth mid lane. Agni dropping a whole bunch of bombs down. Bacchus was able to dodge out of most of them. He survived that pretty much health intact. He's going to be going back to base to shop here in just a few moments. It's a bit of a grouping by Night's Watch right now with no mid harpies up. They might be looking for a pick, maybe looking to force a fight over this Gold Fury here in the next couple moments.
Yeah, I'm surprised as well by the pickup of the Toth by Chang'e. It's not something you usually see on most of them. Now he's looking for the Doom Orb just because it does pretty much the same thing as a Book of Toth. But Gold Fury started up, Taunt is available, Fields of Love and Intoxicate already used here. But Athena's waiting in the wings. Night's Watch are going to get that Gold Fury, but are they going to be able to get anything else out of this?
Jermaine right now in the back, but a lot of members. 1v4 Reveal finds NQ on the tail end of that fight. They're looking to chase down and find some kills. If they can get in range before they get to that tower, they could look for something. Portal does catch Wolf of Veil Street, the burst coming out. But Lucas secures that kill. Moex now a little overextended as well, taking, well, way too many auto attacks right there. He ended up paying for his life for no real gain on their part. Night's Watch gold to Gold Fury, but a couple kills answered back, keeping gold, just a tiny gold gain for the Night's Watch, but experience shot up in favor of the Broncos big time on that one.
Yeah, but can they get anything else out of it? If they can get this tier 1 tower in the left-hand lane, there's 3 of them grouped. This will be a bigger win for the Broncos than it would have been for the Night's Watch. They're getting pressured in mid lane and the solo lane at the same time, so one of these towers will fall. It's going to be the left one. The right one's going to take a little bit longer, as it is a mage and an assassin that's trying to bring down that tower. And with Agni coming back, they won't find that one. Yeah. But good work from the Broncos to try and answer back to that Gold Fury.
Yeah, I mean, the way it was played, Zendrin was the only one left out on the map. You split push 2 towers like that, he can only respond to one. So it's, do we defend mid, do we defend the left tower? Whatever he didn't go to was going to end up falling. They took the left-hand tower. Mid tower will continue standing. It's a little bit more of a strategic tower, kind of cuts the middle of the map off a little bit. So between those two, probably the better call. And, which tower do you save? You'd save the mid compared to a lane tower. But, it's still a tower, and with that tower getting picked up, in the course of that whole team fighting Gold Fury exchange, Broncos came out on top for both experience and the gold.
So full cooldown reduction online for Janus now, as he did finish that Chrono Spend a little bit early before that engagement. He's going to be very, very hard to kill now with max cooldown reduction and greater purification beads online as well. That Doom Orb has done some great work in this early game already. Already level 17 in this game is this Janus in mid lane. He's a big boy, and he's going to be very difficult to deal with.
His left side Harpy's about to spawn. They caught Wolf of Veil Street out. Couldn't drop through the portal as well. Unstable Vortex for damage. They're looking to turn this one back around. Fino will drop down back of the belly flop. Beluga not able to sneak through that wall. That's 25 stacks off the table. Wolf Field Shoot, though, gets answered back by Reveal. Defender Limb is coming back in. A little late to the party. Athena will be here to share away a Harpy worth of experience. As they look for Zendrin here, possibly good taunt from Athena.
They knew where he was.
They're looking for Waxing
They knew where he was, and there's a Waxing Moon. That's going to kill him. Landix is going to continue aggressing. I don't think they can find anything more than this. His Moex has rotated over as well this time to defend. There is 4 members versus 3 here with the sustain from both sides. I expect just a disengage unless they try an assault here. I don't think it's really worthwhile against an Agni Moex combo, though, with that. Oh, Taunt comes out. Fields of Love comes out as well. Is it going to be more follow-up?
Looks like for now it's going to be about it. They're kind of just trying to poke each other back and forth. If nothing else, a taunt for the Fields of Love is a big pickup there for the Broncos. Taunt's off cooldown probably right about now. Granted, Athena doesn't really have anybody to taunt right now, but Fields of Love will be offline for about a minute or so, and that's a pretty big part of Cupid's kit. Jermaine will have a little bit of a window to box him once they meet back up in lane, with basically the freedom to roam around and do what he wants, with the Rising Jaguars going to be able to stay online.
So for 17 minutes in, the golden experience lead right now isn't overly too much that one team can't beat this game by the scruff of the neck and come back into it. The Night's Watch, as they stand right now, I'm looking towards the late game, and you're going to see, I feel Night's Watch's late game is a little bit stronger because of that hum Batz, that when he gets the crit online, he'll start evaporating people as well. And with Agni as well, and Bacchus, there's 3 gods that do a lot of damage over on that side. Janus, though, very, very big, like we said. Obviously, Xbalanque, a big threat in the later stages of the game too himself. But I think that Night's Watch may have it in the late game in terms of just damage potential, but it's going to be up to the Broncos to continue playing the way they are doing to shut this down.
Yeah, they've been doing good so far. We'll see if they can keep that up. Anti-healing is online for the Broncos. Lennox did pick up that Divine Ruin, finished that one off a little while ago, so that's 90% healing reduction to whoever gets hit by that Moonflower Dance for, I believe it's 8 seconds total from both. I'll just double check that here for myself. Moonflower Dance.
Pretty sure it is.
4 seconds on the Moonflower Dance. Still 50%, 40% reduction from the Divine Ruin for 8 seconds. So the healing coming out from Hell can potentially be reduced quite a bit. But Luca caught out in jungle. Overhand Smash not quite going to be enough. Can he get through a portal in time? Cooldown's about
the slow, the threshold. The threshold was absolutely huge. It slowed him enough for Zinder not to be able to find it. And Revel's going to come around and clean up that kill. Oh, people underestimate threshold so many times.
They really do.
So many times.
It's not only a speed boost for you and your team, but a slow also
Maxing
for the
second, I should say. Yep, maxing second is one of the best things you can ever do. Gives you increased damage as well when you walk through portals and mobility. Yeah.
There's one small problem with that, though. You drop someone through a portal and their health bar barely moves, and it's very sad and disappointing. All the damage.
But you use portal for defense, and you use portal for setup potentially.
All the damage.
Vortex, come on.
All the damage. All the damage.
I'd rather do full damage with my 2 than a little bit more with my 1. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
but now the boys of the Broncos going to group up in mid lane now, trying to put the pressure on and drop this tower down. It is a 4v5 for a few seconds, but Gold Fury has just respawned, and that's where the rotation is heading off to from the Broncos right now. They're looking to try and keep the pressure on. They are indeed.
Gold Fury hasn't quite been started. I don't know if you can see the Gold Fury wings from that part of the map, but they come around the corners. Reveal, kind of acting like she was attacking it. There's the taunt, finds 2 members. Moex and Wolf Zero Street not going to take much damage from that one. Carino putting some pressure on the Beluga. They could still look for fight, but it's going to be a full 5-on-5 with a tower to fall back to by Night's Watch.
Through space of time was just used then by the Janus as well, but there was no follow-up with it. They're going to get the left-hand Harpies for free on this side, as the Gold Fury still a bit of a stancy dance, but no one's really coming out on top right now. Based off his engagement with that through space and time on cooldown, keep an eye on Janus that he doesn't get picked, but watch out for taunts!
There's the bombs coming down from Agni. Lennox in the spot trouble. Phoenix will drop down. Zinder trying to find this kill. Will find it. First blood of this fight going over to the Night's Watch. They're looking to fight this one out in the back. Luca's still alright. Wolfie shoots solo. Any attack would find the kill, but the healing is starting to come out. Zinder gets picked up as Moex finds Jermaine as well. Carino, this fight's not going too well. Couple more to go for Night's Watch, and they got a full deicide.
They have got a full deicide if this keeps going. There's a kill for Carino. The only person to live is going to be Bastet, and that's what I was talking about in this fight between the Broncos and the Night's Watch. But Night's Watch are a very team-orientated AoE composition that will burst you down in clumps. The Broncos on the other side, though, very mobile gods. They have to use their mobility. In this one, they didn't use their mobility. They clumped together and they got picked apart. Night's Watch get themselves back into this game now with that Gold Fury. It looks like they're going to go straight for a fire.
They're heading over to that side of the map. I don't want to say anything yet, because if I say anything, they're going to stop. Okay, it's attacked. They're doing Fire Giant. The big thing in that fight was the fact that Zendrin was able to pick off Lennox like he did. They have all the hand-to-healing inside the Broncos focused solely on her. Once she is down and out, that frees up Hell to pop off the heals for about 300-400 damage every couple seconds, and it's a lot of healing coming out of her. Fire Giant gets picked up by Night's Watch. Reveal's trying to pick up Moex, but gonna have to be forced to pounce back out of those 4 guys. So Night's Watch are a little behind right now, but with the Fire Giant, they're technically in the lead.
Well, they're just trying to disengage now, because the boys of the Broncos are trying to group up and try and make answer back, but they're not going to find anything there. That whole engagement that happened at the Fire Giant now was Athena and Lennox combining very, very well with the Taunt Maxi Moon combo, but there was no follow-up after that. That was the issue. People were in position to follow up. Janus couldn't get from the mid lane over in time. They're going to pick up a tier 1 tower in mid, though, to answer back to the Fire Giant. It's not as much as they would like to, though, because they just lost gold and fire. But if you look at the experience and the gold difference now, it's not that much difference. Gold is only 1,000 in, sorry, it's still 1,000 in the Broncos' favor, and that's down to the tower pressure.
Yeah, they have been doing a good job so far. Wards right now, they're starting to fall off. There's a bit of an extended engagement, and the Broncos need to immediately get back out of that base and actually look to do something with the Fire Giant. They didn't arrive in time to actually contest it, but going forward, they have some vision down. They could likely, I don't know if they'll defend these outer towers necessarily. 500 gold to look for a team fight against a Fire Giant team, probably not really worth it. Tier 2, you're talking 1,500 gold then for the enemy team. It starts getting a little more worthwhile defending, so we'll see what they look to do exactly, but there's some opportunity of more than a couple times. You see people, it's like, oh, they're not going to defend the Tier 1 tower, and then suddenly the team shows up in force, and it's like, oh my god, they defended it and we died. It could end quite badly. We'll have to see what they look to do, but with Fire Giant Belt and all 5 members, Night's Watch are going to be able to shred these towers pretty quickly.
Well, the tier 1 tower is going to go down. No defense as expected on that one. They're still going to group up on mid lane here, potentially look for a diving. Keep an eye on Bacchus and the Zindern with that monkey. If he goes in, there's the leap. There's Athena Weevil forcing away the Janus. Meanwhile, though, on the front line, Mugiwawa gets picked for the most part. He's going to get fully bursted down as he came round to support. Bastet's going in and dropping the cats, but can she find a kill?
They're chasing around Bacchus. Unfortunately, he's not going to win. Toxic comes down to pick those guys off. They ended up losing the tier 2 tower and lost their support as well. There's some holding on still. They have a brief moment to actually kind of just catch their breath, but the healing coming out of Hell, plus that Fire Giant regen. Zindern's health is not staying low very long. Wolf Wheel Shoot's going to be full in just a second as well. And there's 2 towers in the left lane that are looking pretty ripe for the picking for Night's Watch as soon as they could, get their way over there.
Well, they're heading over there now, and the team's going to look to defend tier 2 tower by the looks of the Broncos. They're not going to be there for the tier 1, that's for sure. Janus pushing out the mid lane for the time being. He will be able to rotate over quite quickly with the portals and thresholds if he needs to, but already the tower's under siege, and Mugiwawa's only Lissa can come back online, and they've not really got much of an engage with a Bastet, the only thing that can really dive in here, but Bacchus is the one that dives in now.
Defender Olympus getting forced out onto Lennox, trying to make sure she stayed alive for the rest of this fight. Zindern taking a decent chunk of damage. They need to actually confirm these kills, not just spread around that damage. Jermaine not able to secure it. He was looking to pick up Karinia. That would have been a lot of damage down. But this is the opportunity. Night's Watch are going to look to heal back up here in just a moment and then look for a counter engage here. More likely than not, maybe. Yeah, wait, okay, no.
Group heal, try and bait them into the jungle, narrow them into a corridor where they can use their ultimates to their advantage. It's quite a smart play. They're going to try and catch somebody rotating in there. Mugiwawa going to get flopped onto, not going to find the flop though, or the belch. Disengage happens for now. Looks like we might see Night's Watch rotate for the final tier 2 tower on the right hand side now. Maybe try and get a pick in the jungle on that way.
There's only 30 seconds left on the Fire Giant belt, so they have to look for something right here. They're not going to be able to do a prolonged siege or a Phoenix like they may otherwise want to. Good taunt from Mugiwawa, only really catching Wolf Wheel Shoot out. Zindern was a little too far back to be capitalized on. As Wolf Wheel Shoot taking up this tower, looking to go in, and Toxic coming down as well. They're going to be focusing a lot over this fight. Wolf Wheel Shoot getting low.
Not good. Not a good fight from the Night's Watch here. They haven't used the sustain from Hell to stay alive, but Wolf of Velo Street is going to be the first casualty of war. Jermaine drops him down. Hell goes in deep. Heats a portal, has to beat out of that one. Jermaine still chasing on though, applying as much pressure as he can do, but he can't find another kill for now. Disengage happens, and the Broncos managed to hold all their Phoenixes and one tier 2 tower when that Fire Giant is now going to be up again in 20 seconds.
And it's a little ways off, but that was a nice little pick there for the Broncos. We lost a couple towers, we got a kill, and we kept one tower up on the map. It can potentially buy them a couple seconds later on, and every once in a while you see those games come down to, they make that defense of the Titan before the Titan falls, like 2-3% health left. It's like, we had a second more, we could have killed it, but no. So a second or two on the tower that'll take him the kill later on may not be a big deal, but you never know how the fight is exactly going to pan out. There's no wards whatsoever down on the map, but if you look at these inventories, pretty much every slot possible has a ward and a sentry ward sitting in it. There's going to be a battle here for the Fire Giant in just a little bit. Gold Fury, not really an option, because if one team tries it, that'll just signal, that's the go sign for the other team to just start up the Fire Giant.
Really interesting news coming out from the lower end of the bracket right now. In the quarterfinal matchup between Spicy Waffles and Elo Fishers. Elo Fishers actually won that game over the Spicy Waffles. Ooh. They had roster changes this week. Optics came in, replacing the Bushy in that Hunter role, and it doesn't seem to have done them very well this week. Looks like they're going to fall themselves down to a round of 3 knockout, quarterfinals knockout for them. So Elo Fishers moving forward, they're giving themselves hope of actually trying to qualify still now, with 2 weeks in a row getting themselves into the last 4. But back to the action in this one, Fire Giant has spawned a Night's Watch, getting themselves in a position to try and find a pick on a rotation.
They're looking for it. They're all grouping up, hiding behind that wall. We saw the Broncos try this a little while ago. It didn't work out quite so well for them, but there's Moex starting up the Fire Giant. They want those sound effects coming out, those abilities. They want to bait this in as best as possible. Unfortunately, they're sitting on a ward. So, a little shining is not going to work right now.
No, it's not going to work, but they're both grouping up, and you want to watch the angles of the team of the Broncos. If they group up in that area and one Agni bomb rains down, it's going to have a bad time for the team. Bacchus trying to belch and force a stun. Janus through space and time is used now, and here's an engagement.
This Intox getting a lot of guys. They're all drunk in this fight, as Reveal taking a lot of damage from Zindern. He's going to be forced to back off as his little burst of damage wasn't quite enough to find the kill. Nice 3-4-man Waxing Moon forcing a couple beads, as well as that cleanse from Hell. And going forward, there's the Defender Olympus drop down. There's going to be a full-on brawl here in just a second as Mugiwawa was about to fall.
Yeah, they're trying to get as many on as they can, but no one's dead just yet. Everyone's backing away. Difference is Night's Watch are able to group as 5 quickly and heal back up. Chang'e trying to heal where she can, but she's not got anything else. And there's an re-engagement once again onto Xbalanque, forcing him back. They're still looking for a pick here if they can find it, because still nobody's died. Athena is on cooldown. She did just go back to base. It's going to be up to Bastet, but left-hand side, Hell is trading with Xbalanque, and it's a close fight.
And Q now trying to get back to his team, very low on health. Declaw is applied. Can he make it out alive? Night's Watch get the Fire Giant. Everyone will survive, but they have that power play once again with that belt on all 5 members. Wolfly Street might get picked up right here. If they can find the kill, they will. Baluka gets that one, but they're looking for the fight to find some more to answer back.
That fight went on so long that Zindan got 2 Fear No Evil ultimates off. That's how long that fight was. 2 Fear No Evils went off back-to-back in that engagement. It took a long time. They do lose a Wolf of Elo Street, but they were going to be able to take the right-hand side tower. Through space and time, did connect with NQ on the back when it was fired through, but it wasn't enough to bring down the healing but herself, Hell. And now she's going to survive now. They're going to steal away some jungle, probably wait for their Bacchus to respawn before they start to look to siege. Or maybe try and find a pick.
That wasn't a bad trade for them. I mean, trade support for support. Wolf of the Street loses a little bit of extra damage. Intoxicate is still a decent chunk of burst coming off of that support roll. As well, you know, Belly Flop as well is a decent bit of damage. But more importantly, that just bought them about 20 seconds of time where Night's Watch were not able to start looking to siege down one of those Phoenixes. If Wolf of the Street was alive, they would have taken that tier 2. Hell would have been healing them back up the entire time, and they would have been already standing at the gates of the base for the Broncos. So, you know, 20 seconds or so, that's 20 seconds less in the long run. They have to worry about this Fire Giant team on the Night's Watch.
First time this game, the experience has now gone in favor of Night's Watch. 1900 in the lead. They're going to swing around for the Gold Fury, extend that a little bit more to go with the gold advantage of 5,500 they already have as well. And then we'll see where they're going to choose to siege. Probably the left-hand lane more than anything else will be sieged to take that Phoenix down, the one furthest away from the Fire Giant, just in case mistakes get made. And it also means someone's going to go over there to defend that lane without much rotation ability from their team. It's probably going to be a bit of an issue for them if they can do that. But right inside, they're pushing it out right now and trying to push out mid at the same time and then get back quickly for a Phoenix defense.
And so far as well, right now, Hell is sitting at about double the healing coming off of Lennox's Chang'e, and there's no anti-healing on the side of the Night's Watch to shut down that Chang'e healing. The big burst of heal coming out, plus the sustain between fights, is paying off quite a bit for Night's Watch. They're going to have that Fire Giant buff region helping them out going forward. There's a weakening curse now on Athena as well. They're very much concerned about the healing from Hell in the middle of these fights.
They were really late coming back for this tower, this defense of the Phoenix. Xbalanque was so late coming. This Phoenix is already dead. It's going to die, but can they defend?
Wolf of the once again getting caught out. The Fear No Evil drop down. Mugiwawa getting low. Feels the love drop down. They're trying to find the support.
The damage from Agni. The damage from Agni is absolutely insane. It just destroyed him. Moex going to find one. Going to go in deep looking for another, but he might die himself for it. He's going to go down in trade, but he will take out Jermaine with him as well. Only Janus left standing, but there's not many minions here for them to try and do this, but they do have a Hell with the insane sustain. Janus, can you stop them from doing this right now? The juggle of aggro is important. Titan is falling here, Zayden, and Night's Watch going to move on.
25%. The Titan is about to fall. Really nothing Baluka can look to do. The healing coming out of Hell, paying dividends in the end, keeping the team live and sustained through these fights. There was a lot of bursts coming in, and those health bars were dropping so low. Wolf of Elo Street was down to about maybe 10-15% health at one point during that fight, but it didn't matter. That healing from Hell was shooting his health straight back up. He was tanking up that Titan with no problem whatsoever. And in the end, you know, we talked about the Hell Chang'e matchup a little bit, but NQ played that really darn well and you know, carried his team a good part of the way through the game with that sustain.
Yeah, the team played very, very well as a whole. They were behind early on, but they managed to hold off and wait for the right opportunity. One misplay, honestly, from the Broncos at that Gold Fury fight where they weren't grouped correctly for the fight or in a position to really contest it. I mean, the Waxing Moon Taunt combo was fantastic. The issue was the rest of the members just couldn't collapse to bring it round. And then you're going to get hit by Rain of Fires. Plus, on top of that, you're going to get hit by Fear No Evils and belly flops and alcohol poisoning just to boot. It's going to be a big issue for you. And that's going to see the Broncos slip themselves down this week and go out in the round of 3, the quarterfinals. And next up, guys, we'll be bringing you the next round action as soon as they're ready. At the moment, though, all the other games still going on, but we'll be right back after this short break.